Welcome back to another video on Influence of Sports, and we're back. Had to take a few days off, just got my braces removed on Monday. I'm recording this on Thursday night, but actually I'm not even going to start with the TNA Impact recap as I usually do. That will be part of the video, but that's going to be the second half of the video. It's the first half of the video is something I wanted to address with TNA, and one thing that they need to stop doing, because I have a major issue with this. And this is not just the thing that happens in AEW or WWE. It's like this happens in multiple companies. But the two biggest culprits of this is AEW and TNA. And it's just putting a bunch of thrown together matches on cards without any explanation, no build up. And I think AEW's gotten better with it. They still do it. Like, don't get me wrong, they still do it. Every company does it. But I think AEW and TNA does it to an extreme. But I think it's getting worse for TNA with the way that they're doing it, because at against all odds, they have, if I count correctly, 8 matches, and they have a segment which could lead to a match. One of those matches is on the pre-show, and even the pre-show match is thrown together. And I will give my predictions as I'm going through it, but the pre-show match is the Elegance brand versus Harley Hudson, Myla Grace, and Zaya Brookside. Well, Zaya Brookside just got done feuding with Rosemary, so what's her explanation of teaming up with Harley Hudson and Myla Grace? A better story would have been them doing a handicap match. When have we seen a handicap match, and when's the last time we've seen an actual handicap match that had a story to it in wrestling? They would have made, because obviously Ash by Elegance, she wasn't there tonight on Impact, but she actually makes sense for the story since Myla Grace and Harley Hudson are feuding with the Elegance brand. What connection do they have with Zaya Brookside? That's not explained. And the Elegance brand will probably get this win, even though, I'll get to Zaya Brookside later, because she had a great showing tonight. But the Elegance brand is going to get this win. With Ash coming back, I don't see why they would lose, unless they want to set up, and obviously they're going to set up Harley Hudson and Myla Grace to take the tag titles from them probably. But where does Zaya Brookside fit into this? Is she the third piece? I don't really get where she fits into this whole equation. Trick Williams versus Elijah for the TNA World title. I do think, with how quickly they put it together, I think Trick retains. And I did want to see Elijah win it, but there's really no build-up. There's 2 shows of build for this match. It just came about. Like, it would have made more sense for Joe Hendry to get a rematch before Elijah got the title shot. There's no explanation behind any of this. Masha Slamovich versus Lei Ching Lee, that had good build-up to it, but I ain't like the promo that Masha Slamovich cut. I do think Masha probably retain, but they both in a weird spot in my opinion with this match. The Nimmo brothers versus wait, no, I miscounted. There's 9 matches on the card, because I didn't count Nick and Ryan Nimmo's match, so it's 9 matches, which is too many. If it was just 7 with one, but the Nimmo brothers they're defending their tag title versus the Rascals. The Rascals won a #1 contenders match, and there was only 1 promo after that. They won it like 2 weeks ago, I think, and there was only 1 promo, which happened tonight. And it wasn't even a promo against each other. It was just the Rascals doing a segment. There's no build. There's no story. Steve Macklin defending I do think the Nimmo brothers retain as well. Steve Macklin versus Mance Warner for the international title. I think Steve Macklin loses here, but Mance Warner lost his last match. I think he won a squash match, which I think I talked about, and why it was a good thing for him. But there's not really any build up to it. Why does Steve Macklin have to defend the title against a guy who hasn't been winning a lot this year? I think he's not been losing a lot either. I think he's just right in the middle. So what justifies Mance Warner getting a title shot? And I've been keeping up with the product, so I don't understand how Mance Warner got to this position. Santino Marella versus Robert Stone for Director of Authority. I think Santino wins. You don't need... They tell him a good story, but let Santino get the win. Now, I'm interested to see if they introduce Robert Stone as Robert Stone or Robbie E. They should introduce him as Robbie E, but if he tells them not to based off the story, then I understand it. Joe Hendry versus Frankie Kazarian. It's a story already there. Joe Hendry's going to win. He's still going to be at the top of the card. Like, I don't think that Joe Hendry is buried, nothing like that. Like, Joe Hendry's still going to be in a good spot. It makes sense to do this match one-on-one, get that out the way. As I mentioned, First Class, doing their penthouse segment with Mike Santana. Obviously not finna go well. I wonder if somebody will show up to back up Mike Santana, be his tag team partner or something. I'm not really sure who, or maybe TNA re-signed Ace Austin to a new deal, or maybe he's just out the door, but who knows. Mustafa Ali versus Jason Hodge. I'm not really interested in this story, and I'm gonna get to that later in the video, but I'm not rocking with the stuff Mustafa Ali doing. Then the System versus Leon Slater, the Hardys, and a mystery partner. I thought the Hardys' feud with the System was over. I thought Leon Slater's feud with the System was over. How are we just revisiting this randomly? This doesn't make sense. There's no build up to this. The Hardys were just feuding with the Nimmer brothers. Leon Slater was an Ultimate X and he lost. Cool. He lost fair and square. He didn't get cheated out of the title or nothing. And he was helping the Hardys feud with the Nimmer brothers. So now I'm really confused on what. And then the mystery partner, I have no clue. Like I said, if it's not Ace Austin who shows up, then I don't know who could show up. Maybe somebody from WWE. I don't know. Because I just can't think of anybody realistically to show up. Maybe I just can't process nothing right now. But I don't think it's no realistic option in this match. And it's really thrown together. And I know that took up a minute of this. But to get into the recap of Impact and what took place tonight. Indy Hartwell versus Tasha Steelz. A good match. I mean, nah, that's a lie. It was a mediocre match because the interference by the Great Hands, like the way that they were getting involved, that's what ruined it for me. Because Tasha Steelz and Indy Hartwell was actually going to work. They was getting some good action in. But the interferences, it was straight nonsense. And then the way that Tasha Steelz was being treated, like she's a former Knockouts champion as of 2022, and then Mustafa Ali just putting his hands on her and just pushing her around. Like I just feel like that's you really just treating her like a dog. And it's not to say that, and it's not because Mustafa Ali is putting his hands on Tasha Steelz. That's not why I'm mad at it. That I don't really care about. It's wrestling, equal rights, equal fights. Who cares? But the way that she's getting treated in this storyline, and none of the women backstage are coming to help her, that just doesn't sit right with me like that. Like, obviously it's wrestling, so everything won't be realistic, but if he's pushing her around, stuff like this, even though the men and even the Great Hands not really doing nothing about it, at least maybe Indy Hartwell feels some type of sympathy for her and she tries to help her. Because Mustafa Ali did dropkick, he did dropkick Indy Hartwell, so maybe Indy could show some sympathy for her. Like, that'd be a good spot to put Indy Hartwell in right now. Because she can't go to the top of the card instantly. She's going to have to work her way up at the end of the day. But yeah. The next match was, wrote down the wrong championship, but it was for the X Division Championship between Moose and Eric Young. The way that Moose is being booked, oh my goodness. This is so bad. This is another problem with TNA right now. It's the way that Moose is being booked. Like, I hate the way that he's being booked right now. Because he'll lose in a tag team match or a 6-man tag team match. And he's the one that gets pinned, even though he's the only champion in the system. Then has a title match and needs interference from JDC, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Alyssa Edwards to get the win. Like, is he not a dominant force to be reckoned with? Why does he have to cheat and get help? I get that he's a heel, but not every heel should have to cheat and get sneaky wins. He shouldn't be a heel book like that. And this match was pretty bad. Like, I didn't really enjoy it. Eric Young just having Moose in the corner while JDC and the Northern Army just distract the official. Like, bro, go do your job. It's 3 of them outside so they can deal with each other. What are you listening to them for? And then Moose hitting a low blow and a spear to win the match. Like, you can't beat Eric Young clean. Like, Eric Young isn't what he used to be at this point in his career. So what are we doing? Then Eric Young attacked the fans after the match. Even if it's obviously it's probably for a storyline, but even then it's still stupid. Like, I don't think that advanced the story. It didn't help anything. Like, I just felt like it was all stupid. Danny Luna was now on her own since Split Fire lost that match and split up. I enjoyed the segment. Now, I don't know what she's going to do because I don't know if she'd be in the world title picture and they don't have a mid-card title aside from the tag titles. So Spitfire splitting up, I think it comes at a bad time because you got Tessa Blanchard, Victoria Crawford, Masha, Lei Ching Lee. Like, you got all these women in the main event scene. I think Zaya Brookside is more likely to move up before Danny Luna does. So the segment is good. I just don't know what they'll do with her. Maybe she does some stuff with what's her name that I with Tasha Steeles. But yeah, Indy Hartwell did just been a former uh, Knockouts champion, so she'll definitely move up the card soon. I wonder what's next for her. And then you get Joe Hendry. He spoke on losing his title. Said he wants his title back, but he supports Elijah. Feels like he deserves it. Basic, good segment. Frankie Kazarian came in there, interrupted. It talked his stuff that he normally does. It built up some good hype for the match, and this match already had a story with it. So I'm excited to see this match. I am looking forward to this. He had Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance. I'm still calling her Maggie Lee. M by Elegance just, it might not be longer, it just feels like it, but Maggie Lee. They took on Myla Grace and Harley Hudson, who they've been on TNA a few times. They still new to the brand, but Maggie Lee, Harley Hudson and Myla Grace had Maggie Lee isolated early, but it was some good. But now with Maggie Lee being part of the Elegance brand and Ash not being there, Heather and Maggie work really well together. They got some good offensive tag team moves in. They look good. Myla, she delivered a really good elbow to Heather. Then Maggie, she did trip over the ropes, attempting to break up a pin, but she ain't been there super long. I don't know how long Maggie Lee done been there, but she did just come back recently. But it's fine. It didn't really mess up the match or nothing. There was just one spot. There was just one bad spot. But overall, it was a good match. And Maggie Lee's moonsault was pretty good that she did to Myla Grace. And Maggie would end up getting the pin for the Elegance brand. So that's a good storytelling right there. I like Maggie Lee with the Elegance brand. I think that's gonna help her out a lot. And the personal concierge got involved. So Harley Hudson, Myla Grace, even though they lost, they look. They should. Damn, Miles Turner could do that. I focus. But yeah, the Elegance brand got the win. Then next, you had the Monsters Ball match, which was probably the best match of the night. Like, I really enjoyed this match. It's not one of the top matches of the year, but it was a really good match. With Zaya Brookside and Rosemary. This story they've been telling has been great. I really enjoyed it. And the right winner had this one. Rosemary clapping the pants early, had Zia Lee, had her scared, she didn't know what to do, had her back into the corner, and allowed Rosemary to get the advantage early, hitting her with the belt, things of that sort. And Zia Brookside was finally able to embrace the dark side during this match, using weapons, using a hockey stick, pulling out hockey pucks, doing the Brooksy bomb onto the chairs. She did a lot of great stuff in this match. She even countered the mist with the trash can lid and was able to get the win. So really good stuff from Zia Brookside. Rosemary really does get the best out of people. She does a great job working with people. If WWE really sees something in Nikita Lyons, they should have her work with Rosemary just for a short stint to do something cool. But I really enjoyed this match. Zia Brookside got the win. One I ain't even talk about some of the spots Rosemary had, but Rosemary spearing Zia Brookside through the door, that was probably the best spot of the match in my opinion. But the hockey sticks, them being in Brampton, Canada, like it fits well into where they're at, to the location, stuff like that. Like when you play into the location, that actually makes sense. I can actually get behind that, seeing they're in Canada, that's a hockey country, so we gonna have pucks and sticks. That makes sense. The Rascals already spoke about their segment didn't even make sense. Like I didn't even know what they were talking about. Then Elijah, he did his promo on Trick Williams, and if they would have actually built this and had a story with it, I would be convinced that Elijah could win. But this segment just made me less convinced that he could win, because I didn't enjoy this segment at all that Elijah did. And Elijah usually hits on the promos, so this would on someone was just off with him tonight. But Lei Ching Lee, she made it known that she was coming from Masha Slamovich, and then Masha cut a promo later in the night, calling Lee a real competitor and saying that she sees the doubt in her. But I didn't get that, because you called out Lei Ching Lee yourself. So if anything, you're doubting yourself, which is why you had to call somebody else out to prove that you're still who you say you are. So what? It was a weird segment. I don't know. Santino, he spoke. He wasn't excited about his match, but he does plan on remaining director of authority. Robert Stone interrupted in basic segment. I mean, their segment's been pretty good. This was another good one. It wasn't too much to really take away from it, in my opinion. And then the main event, the Nemos and Frankie Kazarian took on Matt Hardy, Mike Santana, and Leon Slater. A team that has no chemistry together. They've never been together in a six-man tag team match, as far as I know. And Mike Santana pinned Ryan Nemeth when he has a match tomorrow defending his tag team titles. And Mike Santana pinning the tag team champion does nothing for him because he doesn't have a tag team partner. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. But that's it for this recap of quick issues I had with TNA. Like, I've been enjoying the product. They've been having a great year. Just a few issues they need to address. And once they address that, they'll be fine. But leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down your thoughts below on the Against All Odds card and on Impact that took place tonight. Peace out.